16 News at 9. Covering Hot Springs, Bryant, Little Rock, and all of Central Arkansas.
What you see here are names of real communities in Arkansas. It's 2013, but some Arkansas communities still struggle with the problem of our state's painful past stemming from slavery.
Fox 16's Brittany Johnson shows us how communities named with the N-word are grappling with changing times and the lasting stigma.
And we do want to warn you here, the N-word is used several times in the next few minutes, and due to the sensitive nature of the N-word, we have dipped the audio low to cut out part of the word.
The older people back then, they were real handy with an axe.
Times have changed since Walter Reed was a little boy growing up in Woodruff County, but the name of this community remains the same.
It's called Red Corner.
150 years after the abolishment of slavery, decades after the civil rights movement, 4 miles north of Augusta, just around this bend, you'll find
This is Red Corner.
the most current, more politically correct version is Negro Head Corner. That's how you'll see it, and roughly a dozen other places across the state with names starting with Negro. On federal map listings, even Google Maps. After years of living near and driving by this area their entire lives, the Reeds went and found a page in a local library book. It explained that years ago, a man carved a head into a tree right on this bend, and that's how the area got its name. It's a story longtime locals know very well.
My grandmother told me about this black fella that owned the ground. He put down his fence post, and he carved these heads out and painted them.
This man here, he was a free man. He was working as a free man. He owned this property, see, 180 acres.
But online comments show, despite the backstory, the lasting name continues to stir controversy.
Everybody, black and white, all, that's what they called it.
2 hours away in Saline County, a similar name struck from the record still strikes a chord.
I grew up with that name as being called Hill.
Rebecca Wine's family is from a part of Benton originally known as Negro Hill. Census records dating back to the 1930s show a sizable community of laborers and their families filling the lots.
I felt intimidated during those years because during that time it was just a scary situation, integrating schools and then, being called here, and then, somewhere down the line, you're going to feel intimidated and inferior.
Her family, like others, joined the fight to change the name, hoping to rid the budding community of the lasting stigma. They won. The names on the signs have changed, but attitudes still need work.
We're all trying to, myself, we don't want to promote old stereotypical negative name. That has no good for society today. So yes, we are backing away from that 100%. This is a copy that was given out to the colored citizens.
But historians say there is much more to the name.
If you hear that word, you would say, well, no, we don't want to go over there because that's called Negro Hill, so that got to be bad. I mean, that's all. But you will realize in the 1800s, when these people joined together to buy property, that was a major accomplishment.
Many don't want to strip away the history, but say the negative connotation of the N-word continues to overshadow the positive.
Since it's 2013, we need to advance. In order to move forward, you're going to have to leave the past.
For others,
it's just home to me.
It's just a name.
Then it wasn't meant to be a negative thing. See, it was a blessing.
Nobody ever fought to change. In Woodruff County, Brittany Johnson, Fox 16 News.
The Woodruff County judge says they now call Negro Head Corner John Deere Road, but they have not formally changed the name, and people who live there still use the original name.
Very interesting.
It is a piece of history.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is, and I can understand why it's still controversial.
Sure, no question. Well, if you're having a problem, it's probably safe to assume there's an